Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, episode 73 of Mystery Reviews. It's another Christmas movie. So, yeah, but before I get started, I do want to say hello to the chat. Hello to Vanja, who is a loyal watcher on Tuesday mornings. Thank you so much, bud. Also, I got a couple new clips, and before I got up here, the reason why I'm a little late is because it kind of stubbed my toe. Hurt real bad, but no permanent damage, you know?
I'll show you permanent damage, you wee fuck! Kratos, throw me at him! Horns first, yeah?
But yeah, also, we got a movie with somebody who is very freaking crazy. Not in real life, but definitely in the movie. And the hints were Christmas and the LAPD. The final hint that I gave on Twitter was a movie that, or whose writer was writing the movie while playing in a movie that was released the same year. So, yes, we are indeed doing Lethal Weapon, the first movie, which is a Christmas movie, mind you. People say it's not a Christmas movie. Well, this movie even starts with a Christmas song, Jingle Bell Rock, and has a great aerial shot, too. So, yeah, without further ado, 1987 Christmas movie in which is of debate, but it is indeed a Christmas movie. Because fuck you, that's why. No, honestly, though, it's actually is a Christmas movie because Christmas is actually reminded throughout the film. And Richard Donner, a legendary director, directs Lethal Weapon, starring Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, Gary Busey, Mitchell Ryan, Tom Atkins, Darlene Love, and many, many others. This movie even starts with a Christmas song, as I said. So yeah, fuck you. Shane Black wrote this film while doing his role in Predator as Hawkins. So yeah, that's always fun to know. Nice little stuff. Regular cut or director's cut? I was unaware that there is a director's cut. So it is going to be the regular cut. Vanja, thank you for letting me know that there's a director's cut out there somewhere. I'm gonna have to look for it somewhere in the virtual libraries, and even eventually physical media. But yes, this movie has, or one of the things I really like about the title sequence is the gradient semi 3D lettering with a gradient color scheme. It really is pretty cool. The helicopter shots of LA were done really well, bringing it into the hotel room where we see the young girl, Amanda Hunsaker, who gets basically very high from coke as well as a mixture of, I believe they said, cleaning fluids. And or she jumps out the window, killing herself. However, she would have died if she hadn't. Now, this scene, it has nudity in it, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god!" Well, the scene basically establishes that this girl had or was in the biz, specifically the adult biz. So, yeah, there's that kind of stuff. She was hooking, essentially. Then we get an introduction to the Murtaugh family with Danny Glover in a bath. And his birthday is that day, 50th birthday. I love the saxophone theme in this movie. Where the saxophone theme that they do for this movie is just so freaking well done. And I really do like how this film carries that theme through all of the other films. and lots of good scenes in in the director's cut. I will definitely have to look for it, man. You piqued my interest. Cult classic Cage. Yes, we are. We are talking about Lethal Weapon. It is a Christmas movie, despite what other people may say. The movie starts with a Christmas song and ends with a Christmas song and has Christmas stuff sprinkled out all through it. Eric Clapton clicks are great. I'm guessing he was the one behind the saxophone. But yeah, one of the things I like about Murtaugh is his daughter Rianne tells him, happy 50th birthday, Daddy. You're old, and that beard also, or maybe you should shave it. That beard makes you look old. It's like, oh damn. So he looks in the mirror. He's like, oh great, now I got to shave. And he shaves it off, keeping the mustache, which is prominent throughout the rest of the movies. I mean, if he actually shaved the whole dang thing off, he would actually look years younger, like he does in Predator 2. So we then get the introduction to Martin Riggs. Mel Gibson playing this part, man. Trailer park, his dog's coming in. He's smoking in the bed. You get the naked ass shot for the ladies. I mean, this is a cop that is off his freaking rocker. And when I say off his rocker, folks, I mean, behind the guitar. Okay. Licks behind the guitar. Okay. And when I say that Riggs is off his rocker,
that guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You can smell crazy on him.
Yeah. That's basically Riggs, man. Now, people are saying that he's probably going in for a psycho pension in which nobody wants to work with him, so he's fucked. Or he's suicidal, in which he's fucked, and nobody wants to work with him. That's actually a line later on in the movie. And the acting in this film, especially on the part of Mel Gibson, when he is playing this really torn up cop who has lost his wife. This dude has lost a reason to live, essentially. But he constantly keeps going. And he's drinking beer as soon as he wakes up, which is a nice touch. This tells you that there's something deeply wrong with this man. And so you also know that he's been through some shit. The way this movie sets up the two future partners is just done so freaking well. And yeah, I know my camera and stuff is still active. Also, it sets up the story for what's going on with the hooker jumping out the window. So we then see that Roger's downstairs, and he loves to tease his wife about not being able to cook because she drops an egg. She's like, "Don't have an egg!" Oh my God, where's my thought process? I should have been checking for eggs on the floor. He's just teasing her and stuff. But then she tells him that a friend of his reached out, Michael Hunsaker. And she's like, "You've never mentioned him before." "Yeah, I never have." "Well, Vietnam buddy?" "Yeah, Vietnam buddy." And, apparently in the director's cut, he actually throws a beer bottle into the TV. If I walked in on my dad while he was taking a bath, I would not be alive today. Yeah, he had a bubble bath going, so pretty sure his parts were covered. I understand that. So yes, there's the small mention of that this is a Vietnam buddy. So you now know that Murtaugh has been in Vietnam and served in Vietnam with a guy named Michael Hunsaker. So it's a nice setup for later. And he has been reaching out to Murtaugh for 3 days. So it's like, this dude has been reaching out constantly for 3 days. It must be a desperate situation. And then you also see the daughter come down in this she's like 15 or something, 14 or 15 in this movie. The character is, and yet she comes down in this very alluring dress. And so he's about to go out, and it's like, oh, shit. So, yeah, Daddy's now having to deal with a girl or one of his daughters who is getting at that age, shall we say, where she's going to start dressing provocatively. Believe me, if I had a daughter that started pulling that crap, it'd be like, well, now that you're that age, you're going to the church. No, it actually, but I would basically be very protective of my daughter if I ever had one. So we now see that he's responding to a radio call, Murtaugh. And I love this radio call, man. Radio call with a drunk white female, approximately 5 foot 10 inches, 350 pounds, drunk, nude, and singing at a strip joint. So he's obviously responding to the jumper. And you learn that it's Hunsacker's daughter. And you see how Roger reacts to this. He knows the Vic's parents. And he calls up his wife asking for the number that Hunsacker left. And I love how the scene shows that Roger is broken up. And it really sells that he knew this little girl when she was younger. He hadn't seen Hunsacker in 12 years. So this is 1987. Go back 12 years, you're in 1975, essentially. So yeah, this girl is now 17. She's dead, jumped. And we then cut to Riggs buying cocaine in a sting operation. And I love how he plays this, man. Here's to Daniel getting a family, yeah. And I love how he indeed plays this. Love or hate Mel Gibson, he is a great actor, and I don't care what anybody says. Cassie, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree. Because this guy, honestly, he's been through some shit, and people have given him shit, and yet he still keeps it going, and he still keeps it going very well. So, yeah. But I love the scene where he's buying the cocaine, and they're like, all right, you like the stuff? Well, yeah, I'll take all of it. Well, okay, well, he's going to take all of it. Yeah, man. It's going to cost you $100. Oh, really? Okay. He starts counting out the money. They're like, the fuck are you doing? Shut up. I'm losing count. Vanja. He's like, yeah, shut up. I'm losing count. Yep. And it's like, hey, dude. Not $100, $100,000. Well, I can't afford that, man. Well, then you're one of the dumbest fuckers out there. And it turns into a shootout. He shoots out people, or he shoots a few of them, and one dude with a shotgun accidentally blows away the leader of it. And he then gets caught by one of the other guys and has the gun right here by the other guy, and he's telling everybody, it's like, shoot him, just fucking shoot him. Shoot me, man. Shoot me. Just fucking shoot me. And everybody's like, oh my God. Freaking Riggs is nuts, man. And you see how crazy he is. His rage is getting the better of him. And he pulls the gun, knocks the dude out, and it's like, holy crap. It really is bad. His fellow officers basically tell him, it's like, dude, okay, it's over. You get just... It shows his spiral downhill. And then we go back to his place where he's getting drunk. He's looking at his wife, who was killed apparently in an accident, but it's revealed in a later movie, in the second movie, in fact, that he was, or that his wife was murdered as part of an operation that actually was meant to kill him. Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone are guys that take advantage or take action movies and are capable of giving it depth. Exactly, Cassie. Couldn't have said that better, actually, to be completely honest. And so one of the things I like about this scene is that how it's shot. It shows him putting or cleaning the gun a little bit, putting the bullet, sliding it into the chamber. This dude is about to kill himself. He's about to eat his bullet. And he looks at the barrel first, and then he puts the barrel to his forehead, but then he puts it in his mouth. And cutting back to Looney Tunes on the TV is a nice way of just elevating the scene just a tiny bit. And then he stops because he can't go through with it. And you see the pain in this character. I mean, the last time I actually saw him broken up like this was in the movie Ransom when he thought that his son was killed. But yeah, Mel Gibson can really sell pain and anguish. He does that really well. And we get a cut to the psychiatrist who's who's all throughout the films. And I can't remember her damn name, but her first name's Stephanie because Riggs calls her by her first name in the fourth movie. And they're discussing Riggs. It's like he's suicidal, and he's like he's probably just copping for a suicide pension or for a psycho pension and whatnot. And it's like this is a phase, man. The man lost his wife and he's on the edge. He may not, or he'll come back from it. The captain is walking into the men's room and he has to actively remind this doctor. It's like, hello. Happy day to you too. Happy Dino. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So then we have Murtaugh at the or in his office working on his case while seeing Riggs looking suspicious in his or in the precinct, and he's focused on Riggs while he's being told that after being shaved to look younger, he actually looks older with just a mustache. So that backfired, and they're telling him that the girl didn't commit, or it's not a suicide, it's a murder. She had chemicals in her system that kill her before she even jumped. Chances are she was dead before she even landed. And he's hearing this while watching, thinking that Riggs may be a perp or something. And the other detective tells him he's getting a new partner for this. And so Riggs just pulls out his gun and Murtaugh jumps into action. And I love how they zoom in. The camera does a run-up zoom to Mel, and then Mel just throws Murtaugh over his shoulder, points the gun down at him with that very deadly blank stare in his eyes. And they're like, yeah, hey, Riggs, this is your new hey, Murtaugh, this is your new partner, Martin Riggs. He's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. And by the way, before anybody says that this gets away from being a Christmas movie, in the beginning of this scene, it shows several cops getting ready to do a Christmas ballad. And so we get the introductions. Both were in Vietnam and different units. Riggs was in a kill squad during Operation Phoenix, and they're talking in the garage. Gun comparisons. Riggs carries a 9mm Beretta, 15 in a mag, 1 in a pipe, wide ejection port, no feed jams, while Roger carries a 4-inch barrel Smith & Wesson 6-shooter. And he's talking with Riggs, and he's like, so you know all that kung fu and karate and martial arts shit. We must register you as a lethal weapon. So you get the mention of the film title. And Riggs, he's like, look, dude, you don't have to pretend to like me. I know what everybody's thinking. Half the department thinks I'm suicidal. The other half thinks I'm trying to cut it or I'm acting for a psycho pension. So in that either case, I'm fucked and nobody wants to work with me. So yeah, he's like, I don't like you. Well, good, I don't like you either. We then get that crazy introduction out of the way, and we get introduced to the bad guys. Gary Busey is Mr. Joshua, and General McAllister is the big bad. And he is a military dude that hires mercenaries, which Gary Busey plays. Now, this is before Gary Busey had his major accident back in '88. This movie was filmed in '86 and '87. I actually watched Lethal Weapon. It's kind of a chaotic movie. Yes, it is. It is chaotic, but it is very well done. You got to know Richard Donner's style to really understand that it's controlled chaos in a sense. Oop. Sorry, folks. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. Message from a very special person. So, yes, his bike accident. God hates me. So this dude is looking to buy freaking heroin from these guys, and so he's like, you're hiring mercenaries? How do I know I can even trust you? Because I demand loyalty. And he's like, you smoke? Do you smoke? You got a lighter? Do you have a fucking lighter? Pull out your fucking lighter. He pulls out the lighter. They hold his arm so he can't move. There's a method to my madness. Exactly, yes. And there's always a method to my madness, too. You see, when people are thinking you're crazy and you're really not, people tend to lower their guard around you. People tend to think that you're just nuts. So, yeah. So, Gary Busey unbuttons and pulls up his arm, goes like this, while they're running a lighter flame right here in the arm. This area has a high, you pinch an area around this area, you're going to feel it. That means your brain, your pain centers in your brain are lighting up like Christmas trees. Basically registering that this is a high or low tolerance pain threshold in this specific area. And they ran the lighter on Gary Busey's arm, mind you. And then they have Endo go look for that or look at that and take care of it. So it's like, yes, this dude is loyal. He ordered him to hold his arm out, and he just stood there, just gritting his teeth and grinding his jaw while the flame is serious. That's loyalty. You're not going to get a man or a person like that is not going to betray the person he is loyal to. He will literally harm himself to or in service of his commanding officer. And yes, the skin is also softer there too, so it makes it even more dangerous. Yeah, if somebody gets that area slashed, it could kill them. Well, yes, you got a lot of arteries. I mean, even just the small pinching, you can actually see the redness right here. There's literally that's starting to bruise from just small pinches. Just goes to tell you that that area is extremely susceptible to damage. So, this guy is now scared knowing how serious these guys are, and he's like, now just shut up, we'll call you when we have the shipment in, you know? So cut to Michael Hunsaker learning about how his daughter was murdered. Even if she hadn't jumped, she still would have died with all the drugs in her system. And Michael is hoping that Roger could help her. He was reaching out to seeing if he could get her out of the drug and sex life. And he then tells him, he's like, I want you to find these bastards and kill them. Whoever did it, just make sure that they're dead. And he's calling in a favor. He's like, I saved your life in Vietnam. You owe me. You owe me your fucking life, so this is what I want you to do. Damn, your hand needs a soft area attached to them all right. Yeah. Well, These hands are a lot rougher than normal because I had a very active job that required the use of my hands. So when you're planting trees, hauling wood, stuff like that, yeah. So Riggs and Murtaugh are out there, and we get them responding to a jumper scene. This is my favorite scene. Also, if you are paying attention to if you pay attention to my Twitter, if you are able to see my tweets on time when they're tweeted out, if you got the bell notification on your computer switched on, you'll get notified when my tweets go through. I created that GIF, the "Do you wanna" GIF. I actually created that on Giphy to for this specific thing, but also for use later. And he's like, "You have experience with jumper?" He's like, "Are you qualified to do this?" "Yeah, man, I'll bring him down. Just bring him down. Don't kill him. Don't injure him. Just bring him down." And this dude is the actor who plays the jumper kind of overplayed the part. He's just going nuts, man. And I love how Riggs handles this, how crazy he gets, where he's like, "Well, I ain't going to harm you. I ain't going to do it. My boss is down there, man, so I'm just going to come out on the ledge and talk to you. I got to get you down there so I look good with my boss and whatnot." And they cut down to Murtaugh getting all nervous and whatnot. And I love how he's like, "You want a cigarette?" He gives him a cigarette, and then he pulls the lighter. And as the guy's looking down, he reaches back for the cuffs. So when he goes to light it, cuffs both people. And there you go. And he's like, "You're crazy, man." "Well, now you ain't taking me away because that would make you, or you ain't going to jump now because that would make you a murderer. You're a fucking psycho dumb." He's like, "Do you want to die? Do you want to?" "Well, guess what? We're going to fucking jump, man." No guns, no jujitsu, yeah. And so he freaking jumps, dude. He actually freaking jumps with the jumper. It's like, holy shit, So everybody is thinking, "Oh my God, this dude is absolutely insane." You also see Murtaugh looking, "Oh shit," closes his eyes, he's like, "Shit." And they land on the huge inflatable that stops jumpers. And this dude is now no longer wanting to end his life. He's scared for his life because Riggs is fucking nuts. And so freaking Danny Glover tries going after Riggs, and Riggs is like, "Get your fucking hands off me," and whatnot. And so he's calling. He's like, "I got the job done. He's down, didn't I? He's alive. I didn't kill him. I didn't shoot him. I didn't do anything like that." And he's like, "Get over here and get in here." So he goes to slam the door, except that the door swings both ways, so it doesn't work. And he's like, "Are you fucked? Or do you want to die?" He's like, "What are you talking about? I got the job." "Shut up and answer the question. Do you want to die?" And he's basically calling him out. And I love how this scene plays, man. I love how this scene plays. Because the way that Mel acts this, he pulls, or frickin' Murtaugh gives him the weapon. He's like, "You don't put it right on your chin. You make sure that, or you don't bite it. You put it right under your chin." And he's like, "All right, yeah, I'll frickin' do it." He's looking at him in the eyes. He's actually pulling the trigger down to show that he'll actually frickin' blow his goddamn brain out. And Murtaugh actually has to stop the frickin' hammer from going down, pinching his. Folks, when you get a pinch right here, right in this area, it hurts. It really hurts. Let me tell you, I know a person who has actually had that happen. And yeah, they had bruising and blood blistering in there for fucking weeks. So, he's like, you aren't going for a psycho pension. You really are fucking crazy. You really are trying to kill yourself. And he tells him, man, every day I think about eating a bullet. Every day I think, or I put that damn thing I have right fucking here or right here. And you want to know what stops me every time? The job. The job stops me from doing or from blowing in the back of my head. I even have a special bullet, a hollow point, to make sure that the head or the back of my head gets blown out, to make sure that it actually goes through, you know? And it's just, that scene is just so powerful. The acting is literally master level there, man. So Murtaugh calls the shrink, and the shrink tells him he's on the edge, man. He's like, fucking, I am so fucked right now. He's freaking out. And he's like, man, I ain't letting you drive. We gotta go. I have a death wish. You're looking at a dead man. Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to a dead man? He's like, yeah. Yeah. The scene or right after the whole thing, he's like, I'm hungry. That's just how he does it. I'm hungry. And they go and get him food. But yeah, then he goes to talk to the shrink. So, or he's like fucking 50 years old. Turning 50 years old, and this is my fucking birthday, and I get saddled with this fucking psychopath and whatnot. And he's like, you're talking to a dead man. Why are you talking to me? You're talking to a dead man. I'm a dead man. I'm a freaking dead man because of you. You're talking to a dead man. He's like, I didn't know it was your birthday. I mean, I could probably get you something, you know. It is so freaking great, dude. My partner has a death wish. And so they're checking out a lead. They get a lead to the place where they may have sold the coke to Hunsacker's daughter. And I love the little line from Martin Riggs. I saw this place once on Lifestyles of the Rich and Shameless. I mean, Riggs has Mel Gibson has a great way to deliver lines. Well, time for me to head out and do my stuff for today before work. I'll see you around. Take it easy, right? Have a wonderful day, girl. Have a good day at work. So there's a shootout at this house, and you see Murtaugh shoot the suspect in the leg, and he's like, you see, that's how you freaking do it. We get to interrogate him now. Well, while his back is turned, the guy pulls another gun, and Riggs saves his life. Or Riggs saves Murtaugh by shooting the dude in the chest. They jump into the pool because, well, now the dude just fell into the pool with plastic wrapped around his face. So chances are he's a dead man anyway. He also got shot center mass, so he is dead. And now Roger actually trusts him more because he just saved his life. Well, they're back at Murtaugh's, or they cut over to Murtaugh's place afterward, so that they're getting changed up, and they go to Roger's house so he can meet the family, have some dinner. And I love how Rianne is just crushing on Riggs, man. Rianne is just totally freaking smitten with Riggs. She's all dreamy-eyed and looking at him and all that. It is so freaking hilarious. And then they're in the boat, and the wife takes out the trash. She's like, thank you for taking out the trash, honey. But I was entertaining my guests, sweetie. The boat, and they're talking about the murder and trust. And Riggs is good at killing. So as he's going out, he's at his truck. He's talking about how he did somebody from 1,000 yards out with a handgun. He's like, do you like my wife's cooking? No. He's like, no. he hates Murtaugh's wife's cooking. I just love how he's like, no. And so we see that Murtaugh finds some late night evidence. Well, it's Hunsacker, or it's a video of Hunsacker's daughter, adult stuff. And if you're a cop looking at this stuff, which Murtaugh is very professional, he's just looking at it. He's disgusted by it. He's like, this is it's terrible how this girl ended, you know? So the next morning, fucking Riggs shows up with coffee, and he's like, here, smell, and just running it by the nose. What are you? Hey, partner, what's up? What are you doing in my room? Your wife let me, or how'd you get in here? Your wife let me in. He's like, what the hell, man? I gotta go take a shower. Well, we gotta go down to, we gotta keep running the case, man. I thought you said the case was a suicide. No, it's not. It's a murder. We gotta solve the murder and whatnot. We gotta go. Come on. And then we get down to the target practice and the Dixie theory. And I love how they're talking, dude. Dixie, by the way, is a prostitute who found the body and also got the hell out of there because chances are she most likely put the shit in Amanda Hunsacker's drugs, which killed her. So, yeah, it's a thin theory, and freaking Riggs is like, yeah, it's thin enough to make, or it's thin enough that turns out like your wife's cooking or something like that. And he's like, what? Huh? What? Huh? I didn't say anything. So we get target practice, and you see Murtaugh does the center mass, or does a decent widespread like this with the center mass, and you see Mel Gibson center mass, headshot up, or headshot area here, like a smaller or a bigger area center mass there. It's like perfect shots. So they get to he's like, oh, you want to see something, huh? You want to see something? So he sets it out a little ways. Murtaugh does. Bam! Quick draw, pull, and shoot. And he gets right in the center of the face. He's like, oh, okay, well, he sets the same target with the center, or with the nose shot there, and he just keeps on sending it. He's looking at Murtaugh, and he's like, and it's going out there, folks. It's going to the back, all the way to the back of the targeting range. Well, bam, 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 bam. And he calls it back, and he's humming to himself, looking at Murtaugh again, and whatnot. Put a smiley face on the frickin' target. I absolutely love how he did it. It's like, and frickin' Murtaugh's like, Jesus. I just love that, dude. So they have to go and check out the Dixie theory. And they're heading to the house, and you see these kids that are playing out there, man. And the house blows up. So Murtaugh is going to cover Riggs and is going touching him, and he's like, and I'm quoting the movie here, folks, YouTube, and anybody else who's watching. I am simply quoting a line from the movie, which is in the movie. So do not take offense to this. He's like, what are you, a fag or something? He's like, no, man, your coat's on fire. So then we get the kids are kind of scared from the explosion and whatnot, but at first they were freaking amazed. They're like, oh my God, do it again. It's like, the fuck? So, they're going through the rubble. You also see that Dixie was in the house. And the style, or they catch a style of an explosive or a piece of the explosive, and it's like, this is Vietnam professional shit, dude. I haven't seen this shit since the war. So then they talking about the kids, and the kids are like, no, man, he's gonna arrest you. And he's like, what's your name? Oscar. He's like, Oscar, what's the front? And so they get the other kids to go get ice cream, and they have the kid talking about the description of the person that delivered a suspicious package and whatnot. And Gary Busey, his hair he was white, or shocking blonde hair, and he was painted, meaning he had a tattoo. And he points at Riggs' Special Forces tattoo. And they realize the seriousness of this case just got real. These people will kill you if you get in their way. Well, Riggs and Murtaugh are now in the way, so or talking to Hunsaker again. He was going to blow the whistle on something until they killed his daughter to keep his ass quiet. Well, he's now spilling his guts to Murtaugh. Vietnam was basically a CIA front that ran the war. Shadow Company was basically selling heroin smuggling operation by the CIA. Soldiers and mercs ran the whole thing back in '68, and they were continuing to bring it to the U.S. Imagine if the CIA funded a frickin' heroin smuggling operation, folks. Just imagine that for a moment. Which means they brought a shit ton of drugs into the U.S. for kids and people to get hooked up on. Wouldn't that shock the shit out of you? Now, obviously, this is a movie. We don't know if that actually happened or not. So then Gary Busey comes in, shoots Hunsaker to shut him up. But Hunsaker did already talk to the police, and they don't want to take any chances. So they plan to turn up the heat. We get the drive-by shooting with Riggs, and Riggs is talking to a hooker. And, well, I love the drive-by, man. It's like they just speed by and blast him through a thing, and freaking Murtaugh's like, please tell me you wore your vest. Oh, you wore your vest. Good man. And he's like, this is how they turn up the heat, Raj. They think I'm dead now. We're at the advantage. Well, he recognizes the shooter a little bit too, and they plan to take on a Shadow Company. Well, then they get a call from dispatch, and they're calling specifically for Murtaugh to address a call that is close to his house, and where a kid with big dimples was killed. He's like, let me guess, white kid, big dimples. How'd you know that, Sergeant? Over. And he's like, Riggs, get in here, man. And they peel out. I love the helicopter shot where it shows Murtaugh peeling around the corner of the other side. The desperation of getting to the house is really done well. And they find out Rand has been taken. His daughter has been taken. The worst thing could happen, or for a cop, is not the cop themselves dying. It is their family being brought into what they do. And he's now scared shitless. And it's like, oh my God, dude. Now, the helicopter shot where you show, or that shows Murtaugh in the car peeling around the corner, you can actually hear the helicopter slightly in that shot. They get the ransom call. Shadow Company believes Riggs is dead. They call as a KCOP, killed cops. So it's kill cops, essentially. KCOP, which is a media organization. They're like, we heard that there was an officer involved shooting. Yeah, Martin Riggs was shot and killed. Thank you. That's all. So they got the confirmation that Riggs is dead, and now they got to deal with Murtaugh. Well, Riggs tells Murtaugh, he's like, things are about to get bloody. Or you want to do this, we're going to have to do this my way. You're going to have to shoot. You're not going to shoot to injure. You're going to have to shoot to kill. These people will kill your daughter without hesitation. And that is just such great acting. He's like, I will do what I have to do. He's not lying about that. So, let's see here. Sorry, I'm at the talking points. The meetup with Shadow Company. So then we get the meetup with Shadow Company, and they're out in the desert. And Riggs goes out to play sniper as Danny Glover has a grenade bluff. Yeah, the KCOP reference. It's like, yep, killed cop. So they try to, or they show her that his daughter's alive, and it's like, he's bluffing. He won't put his daughter in danger. If she dies, or if I die, she'll die with me, and I'll make sure that I control the way we go out. So, they try shooting him and shoot him in the arm. He tosses a grenade, and it goes off. It's just a smoker, and that triggers Murtaugh or Riggs to pulse or to go sniper. And Rianne is freaking out. It's like she's just standing there screaming and doesn't know what to do. Rianne, get in the fucking car and get out of there. So she finally gets into the car and drives off. And well, it's a botched rescue because the head of Shadow Company finds Riggs and he's like, drop it, or you're not that fast, son. Hands behind your back. So they get to the torture scene. And the guy that is in this movie, Endo, was also in a movie that me and Society Reviews and others, Cassie included, discussed last night, which is Big Trouble in Little China. And he played one of the Chang Sings, or not Chang Sings, but one of the Wing Kong rather. It wasn't a dud. It was a smoke grenade that was disguised as a fragmentation grenade, or as a frag, as they call it in military jargon. So the guy that's doing the electroshock treatment, yeah, he played in Big Trouble in Little China as one of the Wing Kong bad guys. So he's shocking the shit out of Riggs, and Riggs is, or the problem with this scene where they're blasting Riggs with the wet or the electricity and the stuff, you can hear the dialogue, but it is overpowered by the music. Now, if they actually brought down the mute, or the music is up here where the dialogue is down here, that's way too overpowering. If they can actually lower it down to like this area here where the music is just under the dialogue, that would be so much better. That's one of the main flaws with this film. Lethal Weapon, they let the music overpower the dialogue in certain scenes, and man, if they could actually go back and edit that in a way where the dialogue is or the music is brought down a bit more and the dialogue is ramped up a tiny bit, that would make the scene so much more improved. We also see that Murtaugh has been beaten and bloodied, so then they take salt and start salting his wounds. They're going pure Asian torture tactics, man. I mean, that's some of the shit that they do with salting a wound like that. They do that over in they did that sort of shit over in the Middle East, or not Middle East, but over in the more Vietnam areas and whatnot. And so then Riggs, he's like, we're good, man. He doesn't know shit. Nobody could take that. He's like, well, we better make sure. So kill him anyway. Well, Riggs escapes, snapping the dude's neck, and he manages to save Murtaugh and his daughter, because his daughter's brought out, and they're basically going to start doing some horrible things to her. And so that's when Riggs comes out, beast mode, just killing everybody. And then we get the chase into the street. Now, Riggs is chasing after Joshua. He's chasing after Joshua in bare feet on concrete. This dude is nuts. fucking nuts. And so it's like, so then they also have McAllister's getting ready to get away, and Danny Glover's character is like, General McAllister, tonight you're gonna die. And so he manages to shoot the driver of McAllister's car. There's a bunch of heroin in it, and the car gets smashed by a bus. So McAllister is trying to get to the grenades and the heroin that's in there. Well, the car catches on fire. Bad mix. You automatically know it's going to get blown up. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. That was a line where they were all getting in. Well, the other person said to the other, I don't know, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So, you get sadly, Joshua gets away. And Murtaugh is like, Joshua got away. We got to go right now. He knows where I live. And he's going to go there. So they manage to get there. And before Joshua gets there, Joshua kills 2 cops that are outside guarding the house. And then he shoots up the house. He goes in. And he sees A Christmas Carol, the black and white. And it shows Scrooge going, what day is it? And so he shoots the TV. It's fucking Christmas! Or it's goddamn Christmas! And he also sees the Christmas tree, sign on the Christmas tree, Dear bad guys, you're late. Nobody here, just us cops. And then the car just pounds right into the house. And he shoots up the car, and then he checks the car because he sees that the gas pedal has been jimmied, or has been bricked, basically, to keep it pushing on the gas pedal and drive and whatnot. And then they bring Joshua out. Well, it's now Riggs versus Joshua. They uncuff him, they take his gun off of him, and they let Riggs and Joshua fight. Now, instead of arresting him. So, Murtaugh is stopping all the other cops. He's like, I am in control of this situation here. Let him go. This man has killed 2 cops. Let Riggs handle it. Now, that is illegal. You are not, or if you can arrest, you do so. They had the opportunity to arrest this man. They didn't. What they're technically doing is illegal. However, it is the movie. This man killed 2 cops. Cops were known to do the whole vengeance thing, you know. So, it's a nice scene. However, it is still overpowered by the music. And it hurts the dialogue that's being spoken because you can barely hear it. Now, after Joshua is basically smacked down and left alive, 2 cops go to arrest him. He pushes one cop down, pulls the gun, when Riggs and Murtaugh both pull out in slow motion to shoot him, which is a nice shot in slow motion and whatnot. Now, after that scene is done, they immediately cut, or it's just a solid cut to Murtaugh, or not to Murtaugh, but to Riggs at Victoria Lynn's grave. Victoria Lynn being his wife. Now, it would have worked better if they had done a fade to the cemetery scene. Kind of like what they did in Lethal Weapon 4. Instead of just a solid cut, they could do a kind of wiping or a fade over cut to the cemetery. If they had done that, it would have translated beautifully. That wouldn't have been an objective flaw. But it still works for getting the job done in the way it needed to be. Riggs goes to Murtaugh's family, and Rans answers the door, and he's like, just give your dad this. A bullet? Yeah, he'll know what it means. He'll understand. And so Murtaugh comes out, man. He's like, "You are not letting me eat Christmas dinner or a Christmas turkey made by my wife alone, are you?" He's like, "Oh, no, man." Now, Murtaugh's family has a cat, Burbank. And so he goes in and he's like, "Hope you don't mind. I brought company." He's like, "Sure, bring him in." And it's his dog. And he's like, "I got $5 on the mutt." And you hear the chaos. You hear the chaos. And, yeah, man, holy shit. You hear Murtaugh, or you hear Murtaugh, or you see Murtaugh outside as they're zooming out, they're pulling out, and he fixes a light bulb, and then he's like, "Oh God, what did I do? What did I let that happen?" And we then get Elvis Presley's "I'll Be Home for Christmas" as the or at the ending credits. Now, objectively speaking, there are points in which, Burbank Cat won't like this. There are points at which this movie does have problems where the music overpowers the dialogue. That is never really a good thing because you want to be able to hear what people are saying. Having the dialogue muted down and the music just blatantly overpowering it doesn't work because you want to know what the hell they're saying, you know? And having to turn on subtitles is not everybody's cup of tea. So, objectively speaking, Lethal Weapon is about a 7.5 out of 10. There are cut problems. There's the cutting problems. There's the dialogue that's overshadowed by that's overpowered by the music. There are other editing issues with this film, but the movie is written beautifully. The acting is superb. The music score for this film is excellent, and it's a Christmas movie. So yes, 7.5 objectively. However, when it comes to subjective, I absolutely love the film. It is absolutely great. I enjoy watching Lethal Weapon and the other Lethal Weapon movies. Moviegoer, if you like action-packed Christmas movies, this one is for you. It's a 10 out of 10. And yes, Eric Clapton did the music. But in the cut that I watched, it was Elvis who did the ending music. So yelling at me is, or Eric Clapton, if he did the scoring music, awesome. That is pretty cool. So, that is going to wrap it up for this Christmas movie review. Stay tuned for next week's Christmas movie review. I have a poll on Twitter. It's the pinned poll on my account. If you go there, you can either pick either K or G. And the hints for the mystery review that fits for both of them is Christmas and bad behavior. So if you go to the poll, pick either K or G, cast your vote. This will be out before the vote will be done before the movie is seen. So yeah, also I will be doing a live review Friday, maybe around midday I will be giving, or not a live review, but a premiere review for Avatar and the Way of the Water. I'm going to be seeing that Thursday. And I'm going to record the review, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on it and whatnot, and I'm going to set it up as a premiere. So stay tuned for that, folks. It's going to be coming out Friday, maybe around 1 a.m. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody, Vanja, Cassie, Riot Kitty, Happy Dino, thank you all for tuning in. I had a wonderful time with this one. Stay tuned for next week. Christmas Bad Behavior. However, you get to help choose the movie. So either choose G or K, depending on which one you want, or if you can guess. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. You all know the drill. If you're catching this on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What did you think of Lethal Weapon? Did you like it? Did you not? Is it a Christmas movie in your opinion? Anyway, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Have a wonderful day. Stay warm. It's a cold one up here. And stay humble.